Welcome to the After Show, the show where we bring it to you raw and real about your favorite mainstream and reality TV shows. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the OWN sensation, Queen Sugar. And trust me, no topic is off limits. And boy, do we have lots to say. We're going to talk about the entire season, the actors we love and love to hate. So before I do that, let me introduce you to the guys on the couch. Guy number 2, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm guy number 2. I'm single, I'm serious, and I carry a big opinion.
A big opinion. Guy number 3 will be joining us later in the broadcast. And so I'm going to jump right to our resident female who gives us the female perspective. Trinity, introduce yourself.
I'm Trinity, and yes, y'all know me by now. I have the perspective.
I think she's standing toe to toe. You guys ready? Let's go. Okay, you guys, we are back here to talk about the OWN sensation, Queen Sugar. Let me just give you guys who are tuned in around the world a synopsis of the show very quickly so that you guys can follow us if you have not yet been privy or had the honor of watching the season. This first season of Queen Sugar. I advise you to do so on demand. So Queen Sugar tells the story of the estranged borderline siblings in Louisiana. At the center of the family are Nova, a journalist and activist, Charlie, the wife and manager of an NBA player, and formerly incarcerated father, Ralph Angel, who is searching for redemption. Following a tragedy in their family, siblings must put their complicated lives aside so that they can come together to run the clan's struggling sugarcane farm. Also involved in the family business are Aunt Violet, we call her Aunt Vi, and family friend Remy Newell. So look, guys, we're going to jump right in because this show, in my opinion, is the greatest show on television right now. Right now. I don't care, people say OWN is cable. OWN is a primary network, and they have a primary show, and it's the hottest thing on television right now. We watched the entire season, and we're going to give you the business on this show. So let's start right now with guy number 2. Just give us a quick opinion about the season. What do you think?
Oh, my God. Queen Sugar is one of the best shows on television right now. I think that this season, which brings us to Borderline Family, has just given us a fresh perspective on a black family, and it's something we've never seen before. It's full of color. It's full of a lot of life. The scenery is absolutely excellent, and I think that the family gives us all relatable storylines, so any and everybody should be able to watch it. That's what I think. I think it's a great show.
Listen, I totally agree. Now, Trinity, what about you? What is your opinion about the season of Queen Sugar?
Absolutely flawless. Even she shows a kind of a normal family in that she doesn't present them as a family without issues. Each character has a backstory. How they relate to one another, the camera shots, the vivid colors. Everybody got along on set gracefully. It was, excellent. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Yes, go and see it on the DVR, definitely.
I agree. Bravo, bravo, bravo on TV. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the OWN network. A great job they did. So look, guys, there's Charlie, Borderline, and there's Nova, and there's Ralph Angel. Now, these are the siblings. So the entire story centers around these 3. So we're going to talk about my favorites first. Let's talk about Charlie, the older sister, and of course, who else will we start with? We're going to start with Charlie and her husband. His name is Davis West. He's an NBA player, and he's played by Timon Cal Durrett. Great actor, and they have a son by the name of Michael West, who's played by Nicholas L. Ash. Okay, Charlie Borderline is played by Dawn Lynn Gardner. So I want to open this up to Trinity. Since we're starting with the baddest woman on television right now, I'm going to start with our bad chick. Trinity, give me the rundown of this relationship and what you thought about it throughout the season.
Charlie presented herself as strong, but and I hope this is taken correctly, but her husband was kind of her weakness. I mean, she did what wife is supposed to do. She loved her husband. But she had his back. She was very strong-headed when it came to negotiations with regard to him being in the NBA. There was a lot of hard knocks. She took them straight-faced until she couldn't do it anymore. But what I liked about her is that she did everything sort of gracefully. Yes, she had her small breaking points, and she let him have it because, that's what we do once we've reached our breaking point. She let him have it and then circled right back around and stayed with him and talked to him and talked him out. And then the separation came, which we kind of knew. But it's different when you don't have all the details, or as a kid you can't process all the details of what's going on between mom and dad. So it looks like one thing when it actually is another. But Charlie, absolutely, yeah, she heads the family. She is the brains and the brawn.
I agree. I don't know where Miss Dawn Lynn Gardner came from, baby.
I don't know.
She came through with a vengeance and a fire. Fire. And speaking about that fire, there was a fire in the relationship of Charlie and Davis. Which is what Trinity is talking about, you guys. And I'll give you a little bit of information on that. There was a situation of Davis cheating. Mm-hmm. Yep. And like most women, Charlie was caught off guard by the truth.
Yes.
And things got heated very quickly. Very quickly. So I'm going to jump to guy number 2 and ask him to further elaborate on that and what he felt about the way Ava DuVernay allowed that situation to unfold before our eyes.
Well, she really opened up Pandora's box with this relationship, because this is something that I honestly did not expect to grow to the magnitude that it did. But when it comes to Davis West being the NBA player, it kind of came off as a typical, oh, he's two-timing me, and this is just, the way of things. And it was some groupie, it was a fan, and she just kind of made her way into my husband's life. Well, that kind of got sidetracked. When we saw that, the truth of the matter was that it was not only him, but 2 of his friends that were accomplices in what the woman is now calling a rape charge, it turned on a dime. So with that, we have to see Charlie really giving a full-on, 180 as to how she feels about the situation. She was totally able to handle the fact, okay, Davis is cheating on me, that's fine. But now that we're finding out that, oh, this is supposed to be something accusatory, this is not my husband. I'm going to stand ground. But as she goes further into it, she finds out even more of a detailed twist, and it just really opens up our perspective on their relationship, because it leads into another situation, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure. But it's something that is just absolutely incredible to watch. I think Ava did a brilliant job of how she told that story and how she really carried it out. It was brilliant.
Yes, the backstory, everything.
So one of the things that Charlie did for me and this storyline did for me was it made me reevaluate how I see or how I feel or think that women should respond to marital crises. Okay. When you come from a place where, when there's domestic problems in the family, it's either a frying pan to the head or, somebody's grabbing a knife and somebody's running out. Somebody better not come home if you haven't been home. You understand what I'm saying?
Right,
so,
exactly.
I was able to step back and really evaluate where the strength comes from. And it's not always in the attack, but it is in the self-control and in the preparedness of a reaction. You have to have a prepared reaction. You understand what I'm saying? And you can get that. You say, because one might say, well, what do you mean a prepared reaction? You can actually get that if you take the time to not respond right away. Gather all the facts. Gather all the facts. And I think also,
that's a tough one.
When we allow ourselves the opportunity to be a little calculated, we can kind of get exactly what we want and how we want it. And most of these people who cheat, they calculate.
That's true. Okay.
Especially when true. When it's more than one time. And the funny thing about this, guys, you guys remember that she found out that this was going on. They had like a 3-year relationship. Davis.
Yeah, it was crazy.
And the girl he was cheating with, the woman he was cheating with, absolutely floored me. So, Trinity, I talk about a prepared response, and let me ask you a question. When Charlie found out that Davis had actually lied to her, and then that he was actually involved in the rape, alleged rape, that he had actually taken part. She was at one of his basketball games.
Right.
And she ran out on the court.
Yep.
And this is where I'm like, okay, later for my advice, just slap him. Just slap him. So
that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, I get it in theory, but come on now. We understand everything in theory after the fact.
Right. Well, let's act as though Theory is your man and he's on the basketball court, and you just found out that Theory cheated. What would you do had you been in Charlie's place?
See, first of all, she took too many steps to get to him. I would have been there. I'd have my cape, whatever. I would have been there. During took all the coaches on both sides to get me off. No way! Wait a minute! I believe you. No, wait till we get home. Stop the game for all I care. I know everybody spent money. I know everybody watching it on TV. No. Yeah. Now, in theory, we took a cab home and talked about it when we got to the house. No, You lied to me.
Well, look, Davis did us wrong. He did the brothers wrong. He stood there while this information played on everyone's cell phone that was at the game, and he said, when she ran out on the court and she pushed him, he said, "Wait, baby, no, what are you doing? You don't understand. No, it didn't happen like that. We're smarter than that in 2016. You know what I mean?"
The stadium was full. Are you kidding me? Everybody was watching it. That's all I know. Never mind the people, in music land or whatever you want to call it. And then it played again, and so it hit social media. So you know how it goes.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
So as far as I know, the whole continent knows now. And you talking about me running out on the court? That's the least of your concerns. So you got kidding me. I loved her reaction. I loved it. It was real. Any woman would react.
I believe it. I believe Moses was in heaven shaking his head like, really? No, really.
You did that. You could have just told her and then ran out on the court and played, You
could have just told her.
Oh, my God. And ran out on the court and played. Yeah, I did it. And then run out on the court and played. You just run after you then.
Let me jump to guy number two. Guy number two, let me ask you a question. I'm going to put you in a scenario now. So, okay, your theory, you're Davis. You're in the middle of the court. Your woman finds out that you've lied, that you were actually involved in the alleged rape of this woman, this stripper. And you lied and you told her, no, baby, no, I'm sure it wasn't me. I had nothing to do with it. She runs out on the court. What do you do?
I'm busted. I'm totally busted.
I gotta say I'm busted.
Well, the thing is, when you look up at the teleprompter, you see yourself in this image, you're like, how can I get out of this one? And especially when everybody's looking at the phone, there's really no backing out.
Yeah.
But, I think that in this particular scenario, it was really good the way he reacted. I mean, he was completely shocked. Because Charlotte did fly out there and, you know, she laid it on him. But I think that it's something that, you know, you don't have a reaction other than, oh, my God, I'm totally shocked, because that's what you totally are. You know, you're on Front Street. I mean, you're busted. It's just no escaping it. There's no running away. There's no flying off the court off of that. You know.
Well, I guess you have to know your woman. You have to know your woman. See, me, I like a big, old, big, burly, big, round, big woman.
Well, so don't think she can't run. I don't care how big her house is. Don't think she can't run.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just saying 250 or better, so when she slapped me, I growl. You know?
You don't even know. I would have laid him out. They'd have been picking him up.
But look, so I would know that if she ran at me over some cheating allegations, I would know to run. I would know to run.
Do you get the lead time? Do you get the lead time to even take off and run? See, that's
baby, when you date a woman that's 250 plus and she's 5'5", every step is lead time. Look, let's talk about. All right, to all of our listeners that are 5'5" and 250 and above, you know, we love you. But look, let's talk about Micah, who's played by Nicholas L. Ash. Now, Micah is the son of Charlie and Davis. And this young man, he's doing some acting. I don't particularly care for him, but I want to get you guys' opinion on the young man. And I'm going to start with Guy Chu. Weigh in on Micah's you know, his situation with watching his parents and the marriage disintegrate, and then having some issues of his own that he's dealing with as a result of it.
Okay, well, Micah is your typical teenager. He's going to be slightly rebellious, if not overboard, and then always overreacting because he doesn't know the full, you know, gamut of the scenario, as all teenagers come across on these days. But I think that his character really kind of reminds us that there's still an innocence within the teenage years. So when you're looking at him, even though you end up getting mad at him, like I do with my son, you always kind of look at him and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this boy, but apparently he's playing a purpose. Now, as far as his personal problems are concerned, he's got a girlfriend, okay, who hasn't lived through this scenario. But the catch-22 with the girlfriend is that they have something that ends up putting him in a situation where he's actually been kicked out of school. So, again, you're looking at him like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this teenager, but oh, my God, I got to do something. So he's shaking up the board a little bit, and, of course, you know, there's a new girl. There's always a new girl. There's a new girl that comes into the picture, and we have to see how that's going to play out. But as far as him watching his parents with their breakdown and not really understanding how it works, he flips the gamut. He goes to his dad. Mom, you're not treating Dad right. Mom, okay, wait a minute, we need to get rid of Dad. And now, oh, well, Dad, you need to apologize to Mom. Oh, well, Mom, let's just move and just get away from Dad because now I'm over. Mm-hmm. Very tennis match. But again, like I said, when we're watching him, Micah is giving us the pivotal character. He's definitely doing some great acting. I think Nicholas L. Ash has done a great, tremendous job in his role as Micah West.
Awesome. Trinity, weigh in on Micah's role in this whole just mess of a marriage between Charlie and Davis.
Again, Micah, he's a teenager. He doesn't have all of the details. Some things are just simply age appropriate. And so his parents have always been together. And so that's what he's seen. You know, he hasn't seen behind the smoke screen, so to speak. So, you know, let's just say it's all in Wonderland, and the next thing they tell him is that, hey, we're separating, you know, and that's that. He may think he should have had a say in it, you know. Why don't you just apologize? Why don't you just say sorry? You know, why did you do this? But because of social media, and I believe he found out through school, his private school, that, you know, this is what his dad did. Not only that, there's an allegation going around that, you know, he raped this woman. So he's got that to deal with, and the parents are split. So in his mind, all you have to do is say, I'm sorry, and then, all is well, but everything is not fixed with an I'm sorry. That's just the beginning. And, and at his age, he can't relate to that. So he's upset. And in his upsetness, I was looking at it like, well, he doesn't know who exactly to be upset with. Mm-hmm. He's got his own growing pains. He's got his own, peers that he has to deal with. He's got a girlfriend at the time, and so he's dealing with so many different things. And he wants to talk, but now he's on this refusal. He was on the refusal to talk, and so with so many things that he was dealing with because of how he processed the information that he was given. And again, I think that they did good in it being age appropriate.
You talk about age appropriateness, and you talk about, him, all he knows is that his parents were together, like most children, right? And sure. In his history, I just know the parents being together, and now he's suddenly seeing behind as what you call the smoke screen or the bedroom door. Or right. He's learning about all the stuff that they talk about when the door is shut. My thing is this, because I don't like this character. I don't like this little boy. Nicholas L. Ash, great, actor, but this character works my last nerve because I don't know that I don't know if this character is true to form for black kids. Uh-huh. So I don't know. I mean, maybe there are a group of I won't pretend to know all the black young boys in the world, but I haven't seen this one. I don't know this one, and so he irks my nerves. One of the things that I think is that everybody can relate to is children are very resilient. It doesn't mean that we can do whatever we want to them and around them, but they're very resilient and they're very smart. This generation is very smart, and he's not 6. He's not 6. He's a teenager. Right. And the thing about it, his reaction was very immature. And, one of the things that we've learned to do, all of us would talk to make a decision. Do you want the red one or do you want the white one? Do you want pink or blue? Do you want ice cream or, strawberry, or do you want vanilla? We are taught to make decisions. And in a case like this, where the parents are splitting and there's a tug-of-war of emotions and stuff like emotional tug-of-war, children are asked or sometimes put in a position, most times, where they have to make a decision. Usually boys side with their mother. Mm-hmm. And it seems he kind of did that in the beginning. But what happened was he switched up on her and got very nasty. Yes. He was almost live with, Yeah, so that bothered me because I usually see that in white children. Right. No offense, but that's not an African-American, black child thing. So that character I don't particularly care for. I want to see him evolve into something greater on the show. But it's nice to see something different. Let's move on, you guys, to the middle sister.
The sister that's just below Charlie. She might be the little sister.
Oh, my gosh. But did she rise to the occasion in this role? This is Nova Borderline, who is played by Ratina Wesley. And Nova has quite an interesting relationship herself. Didn't she? Right. She has an interesting relationship herself. So she is dating a white cop, a white police officer. So, Trinity, I want you to weigh in on this because you're an African-American black woman. Black woman. So, talk to me about this character, Nova, and her decision to date Calvin, played by Greg Vaughn. He's a white officer in Louisiana, where there's a lot of racial stuff going on. People are trying to get their land and get their property, and there's a lot of, white entitlement going on.
Nova, she's oh my goodness, she's a brilliant woman. When you put her in the thrust of her passion, one thing about really, really, really smart people is that they have other things that they're dealing with that they just don't handle. They just kind of go with the flow. So in her personal life, even though she sees the system for what it is because she works, quote unquote, in the system, she's got this personal thing going on, and this one happens to be this Caucasian married man. I need to emphasize married, not so much. Well, Caucasian, but he's married. And so she's taken on the side chick role, but she stands on her own when she's going out there fighting for these young African American, young men. So she's got that thing going on. Absolutely brilliant in what she does for the young men. But her side itch just has to be scratching. It just happens to be him. They own over 800 acres. He has to kind of, he can't get enough of her for obvious reasons, but in that the land is the big thing here. 800 acres, they just in Louisiana, or wherever, it just doesn't seem like, quote unquote, those black people should have all of that land, period. And so you don't know who's the enemy per se. You have your ideas and whatever, but you don't know who the enemy is per se. They're fighting tooth and nail for that, to hold on to the land, and yet she's dealing with what seems to be at least one of the enemies in terms of the way that he looks, his color.
Okay, well, let's talk about an enemy for a minute, okay? Because an enemy is anyone who is actively opposed or hostile towards someone or something. And we have already identified that those white farmers, those rich white farmers, have been actively opposed to the Borderline family and any other black family who have strived to do progressive farming in Louisiana. So we've already identified who the enemy is. Okay, so let's talk about situations. Ratina Wesley, Nova, who I think is a brilliant actress, but a not so brilliant character because she is a walking, talking contradiction of herself. Yeah, but although she is the enemy of those who oppose her family, and so I like that about her. So let's talk about her.
She's smart, but I think she's more feisty. And she isn't afraid to go into the depth of a situation. But let's talk about situation, because not only is she dating a white married man, and I say white because it is relevant. But the thing about Nova that gets under my skin is that the same young black men that she's fighting for justice for, she's selling drugs to. So I want to talk to guy number 2 about Nova's duplicitous nature.
Nova's so duplicitous it's not even funny. She's like a really big bag of magic tricks. So here's the thing. Nova comes in and, she presents this character who's well-rounded. She's not only well-rounded, but she's a great writer, and she's known for being a great writer. At home, though, if you knock on her door, you're going to get a dime bag, if not a quarter-pound of weed to sell. So it kind of puts you in a, professional white-collar environment versus street corner environment. Now, on top of that, not only are you selling drugs and you're known for your writing, you're dating a white cop. Okay, very big oxymoron going on here. We don't know if you really want to be involved with this married man, quote unquote, or if you want to just be ride or die out here or finish your tour in the street. So we really don't know, where she's going, but we can tell she's definitely a product of her environment. And that's one of the things that you end up liking about her, because she is for justice, and she is for trying to promote those things that she sees her community falling into. Unfortunately, she just happens to be one of the things that the community is not needing to be involved in. So, she's tough. She's a tough character. She's a great and brilliant actress in this role. Ratina Wesley, love her. I love her. But Nova, she's got a lot, and I can't wait to see what's going to happen with her next season.
Yeah.
She's got a lot, all right. She has a lot of oils and incense and magic tricks. for those of you who are tuned in right now who don't know what I'm talking about, Nova is like a little priestess or something. She's learned some things from her deceased mother, before she died, and she does these spells and incantations and I don't know what it is that she's doing. Hoodoo, voodoo, I don't know what she's doing, but she's doing this white cop. You guys have got to tune in and check this thing out. But look, let's jump over very quickly to the youngest sibling. Listen, young, but not at all to be, overlooked. This is Ralph Angel Borderline, played by Coffee Cerebro. And I want to get Trinity's opinion on this chocolate brother here and what he's putting down on screen.
Bravo to this young actor. It's the first time I've seen him. I think a lot of the ones on the set are breaking into roles because I've not seen them anywhere before. So this was excellent breaking into this. He embodied Ralph Angel. If there was a stand-in, it won't be necessary. He absolutely embodies the Ralph Angel. He owned the role.
Yes.
He was coming of age. He, was just getting out and, kind of wiggling into this daddy, single daddy role and, having to deal with the baby mama or having to deal with the pain of, the breakup and what have you with the baby mama. And how he didn't want the baby mama around and, just him and his son. And then he's got this property. He doesn't really know a whole lot about business, which is good that he's undergirded by his sisters. He doesn't really know a whole lot about business. He just knows that they have to hold on to the land. But he's given it everything he's got in terms of trying to work the land. And so, yeah, Ralph Angel, bravo to this young man that has embodied this character.
Bravo to Coffee, a.k.a. Ralph Angel Borderline. And you guys, you heard Trinity refer to his lady in the show as the baby mama. That baby mama. So just let me clear some things up for you. That baby mama name is Dollar. Her name is Darla on the show, and she's played by the beautiful Bianca Lawson. They also have a son. He's the cutest little thing and smart as well. His name is Blue Borderline. He's played by Ethan Hutchinson. I want to talk to guy number 2. He's real cute. I want to talk to guy number 2 about this whole dynamic between Dollar, Ralph Angel, and Blue, because there was some stuff here that really gripped me this season. There were some things that confused me at first, and then I got it, and I was so happy when I got it, and it was very meaty. So talk to us about Ralph Angel's relationship with his baby mama and his baby.
Okay. So Ralph Angel and his baby mama are really in a bit of a onion peel type of relationship. It's something that you see and you know exactly what it is. But as soon as you start peeling away the layers of the how, the what, the when, and the why, you start to see something unfold that you've never even anticipated. So when we talk about backstory, these three have a definite backstory. So when we're introduced to Blue, we see that Blue is walking around with a doll. So everybody's kind of like, okay, what's going on? This little boy is walking around here with this little Barbie doll. Okay, I have a problem with that. But at the same time, it leads people to believe that something's going on with this doll because it's not a typical thing for little boys his age. And he's literally walking around everywhere with this doll.
I thought something was going on with him, not the doll.
Well, to give it a little in-depth, once we actually see who his mother is, you get it immediately. And it's funny because you really don't think about, why is this boy carrying a doll around? You really are just kind of like, you just don't want to see him with the doll. But once you see who his mother is, you just are kind of like, oh, I get it. And, of course, the beautiful Bianca Lawson, who's flawless, I think her character comes in kind of like a dark horse. She just kind of gallops onto the set and says, okay, now I want you to pay attention to me, and this is where I come in. But again, the onion continues to peel because when we learn a little bit about her backstory and why she is not keeping Blue and why Blue is actually with his father, we really start wondering, okay, now wait a minute, what happened here? Because this is clearly some sort of struggle, some sort of past there's a back door to this situation. And then we also see when they're on screen together that there's some tension, and then we see that there's some, I don't want to say like beneath the surface type of love, but there's definitely a relationship that existed prior that was wholesome, pure, and it had a meaning before. But now that it's gone down the railroad track of life here, we see that it's kind of got a lot of struggle. And now we're wondering how this is going to completely unfold, because now we have the onion peel going on. So I really want to see how that is going to play out.
Okay, you're talking about the onion peel, so let's be, truthful here as to the onion peel, the peeling of onions and carrying on. Listen, Bianca Lawson plays Darla, and she has a drug problem. For you guys who are tuned in to the after show, she's a crackhead. Okay, so the onion that's peeled away, the skin of the onion that's peeled away is that this thing is a crackhead, and like most of us, if we peel a layer, the first layer of an onion or any layer of an onion, we turn our heads. Don't want to see it, don't want to smell it, don't want it to get in our eyes, although we have to deal with it and handle it for whatever purpose we're using it for. And that's pretty much the way that Ralph Angel deals with Darla, or have been dealing with Darla for most of the season. He deals with her on a need-to-deal-with basis when it comes to his son, Blue Borderline, and trying to allow them to have somewhat of a relationship and not have this young boy disappointed again. Great storyline. You guys have got to tune into it. I want to move on very quickly to someone else in the show who I absolutely love, because we all have one of these in our family, and she has totally lit up the screen for me this season, and her name is Violet Bordelon. She is the aunt of these three siblings, and she is played by Tina Lifford, and Violet has a younger beau. Well, a beau whose name is Hollywood, who is played by Omar Dorsey. This relationship ignited the screen, and there was a lot of drama and a lot of stuff that took place. I want you both to just sound off on this. So, Trinity, I'm going to jump with you, and guy number 2, you can kind of just jump in at will. Trinity, talk to me about the dynamic of this relationship, what you liked about it, or what you maybe did not like about it.
The centerpiece of the family. You got to have one, right?
Yeah.
She did that in order for her to open herself up to love, to open herself up to, not just work, but some of her own time. And then here comes Hollywood, and it kind of burst onto the scene.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he was younger, and I guess there was some trepidation there because he was younger, but he put an everlasting smile on her face,
He did.
And so she kind of set herself free, with him. And then when, he just kind of didn't tell her about his wife, that was on the job training there, that he actually had a wife. And
he was like, let me set you free, but I'm not. Go ahead.
When she came and she couldn't, at that point she couldn't take it. And then, I'm sure there was some of the mental blame, he's younger and, I gave him a chance and, this, that, and the third. And, probably something about that she was blaming herself.
Well, let's put a pin
when
in
he
that
comes
right
back
there.
around and she threw that macaroni and cheese in the garbage.
Oh, that's right. Exactly.
I couldn't take it.
So this is where I'll put the pin in. Now,
I couldn't
macaroni and
take
cheese. Okay, let me give you a little bit of the backstory of the macaroni and cheese, because
Okay.
if you are listening to this, men love macaroni and cheese, especially when it's made by a woman that they love, and it is something that you can smell before it even comes out of the house, which is exactly the scenario that came into this storyline. So, Vi and Hollywood are, having this fallout after, she discovers that he has this little crazy ex-wife. We'll talk about that later. But she smells the macaroni and cheese that Vi is now, we assume, going to make up and say, okay, Hollywood, this time has gone long enough. We've been apart long enough. Comes out of the house with the macaroni and cheese in hand, sees him, and after learning that he, I think, had been away or something of that nature, she throws the macaroni and cheese in the trash in front of him. I was like, no, this is the ultimate insult of a personification of we have broken up ever. Like, this is just it. That was it. Okay. So I was just, I'm on the floor just crying and screaming because I'm like, oh my God, she threw the macaroni and cheese in the trash. Which means that she put her heart and soul into that macaroni and cheese, but she was willing to throw it in the trash. But I think what Violet does in this story, she reminds us that love is a real thing. And even though they have a spring-summer romance, it's one of those things that you really enjoy seeing on screen, because when you see them together, you see that she is her true self. She is not being Aunt Vi with the motherly, over, the mother hen, gathering the kids and the chicks together, but she's just being Violet. And we love seeing that aspect of her, because she is a little, she's a little funky, she's a little spicy. She's actually both of her nieces combined. And I think it's great because we need to see that strength in a character on TV.
I agree. We do need to see that. We also need to keep the people informed. So, brothers, if you're tuned in and you're listening to guy number 2 right now talk about the macaroni and cheese, if you want to know if your woman is breaking up with you for real, if she throws the macaroni and cheese in the garbage, it's over. It is completely over. Grab your shoes, your toothbrush, whatever you have at the house, and get out. It is over. It is done. And another way, you guys, to know if the relationship is done, if it is done, is if, this is for the women. If you want to know if your relationship is done, have a barbecue and have your boyfriend's wife show up at the barbecue and slap.
That's it. It's done.
Show up at the barbecue, and it caused you to have to slap him. I thought she was going to slap. He turned around like the Tasmanian devil. I said, well, what? So for me, if somebody shows up at the barbecue, if somebody's throwing macaroni and cheese into the trash, I know it's over and it's time to go. But listen, before we go, we have to talk about 2 more people. There's someone else who's very familiar to us, the viewing audience. He is definitely a television icon, and his name is DeAndre Whitfield. He's also in the cast, and I love this guy. But he plays a character by the name of Remy Newell. Can't stand this character. Love DeAndre. So he's actually a friend of the family, and he's fallen for Charlie, the older sister. So I'm going to get Trinity to weigh in very quickly on it, and then I'm going to get Guy to the weigh in, and then I'm going to slam Remy Newell. So,
Remy,
tell us what you think.
Remy, I don't like you, Remy. I think he don't even have his sheep clothing on, really. He has it on, but it's not zipped up. How about that?
Right.
It's just, okay, so he's an agricultural professor or something like that. He's in with the college and stuff like that. I don't know. That's where one of the cliffhanger is. I don't know if he's an advocate for them to keep the land or if he's just saying, relinquish it because you just really can't handle it. And so that's where I'm at with him. I don't like the lukewarmness of it. His feelings may get involved. It's hard to tell, maybe it's something to do. Charlie needs some, she's ready to love again, or at least to have a friend at least.
Right.
So he could take advantage of that possibility. But the one thing about that, once you, quote unquote, let kind of your guard down, she's a bad businesswoman. She can stand up with the best of them. But if he's after something, in other words, if he's on payroll, he's still doing a job, and the job may be whatever it takes. So we still got 800 acres, on the line here. Remy, I can't figure him out, but I know that I'm not fond of him.
I'm not fond of him either. Guy number 2, weigh in.
Neither am I.
On Remy.
Well, Remy, no, not my favorite character on the show. Very, like Trinity just said, wolf in sheep's clothing. Doesn't even have the sheep outfit all the way zipped up. And that's true. Because it speaks to the fact that, he comes on, he likes Charlie, and we like to see her, at least smile when, he's coming around.
Exactly.
But, he comes up, and you're just like, okay, what's up with this dude? He's giving you free sugar cane that he himself has personally developed. Right, okay. And he's using your property to actually find out whether or not it, quote-unquote, works. So I don't know. I mean, he's just really kind of, he's the guy you're like, oh, okay, well, he's cool. No, wait a minute, I don't know if he's cool or not. And then later on, you're like, there's something about this dude. I don't like this dude. So it graduates. And so we just have to see how that's going to unfold.
Yeah, I don't particularly care for Remy either. He reminds me of, are you guys familiar with There was a cartoon that was out years ago, and it was, I believe, there was this dog, and he took this cat, and he wanted to eat all of this food from the meat markets and stuff in people's houses. So he put this cat on a string, and he took the cat around to different houses, and the cat would purr and beg for food or whatever, and people would take the cat into the home and feed the cat or throw food out into the yard or whatever, out to the front door, milk, steak, food, whatever. And then the dog would snatch the cat back, take the food, and eat it, and would continue to do that. And he would slap the cat up and say, "What? No more gravy? Where's the gravy? You forgot the gravy?" And then later on, we see this big fat dog. Later on in the cartoon, he just got obese from all that he had consumed with the help of this cat. And so I think that there's a big fat dog somewhere that's looking to buy up that land or to take it over from this family. And I believe that Remy's character is the cat on the string that they're using to do it. I don't particularly care for him. I don't trust people that don't have hair on their face, especially, black men without hair on their face. I have an issue with that. I don't like this guy. He's too slick. He's too knowledgeable. He's too perfect. Not a hair out of place. He doesn't even have hair, but he's too perfect. And my thought is this, Trinity and guy number 2. If he had all of this information, if he knew all of these things, why was the father who passed away, the kid's father, why was he a greater help to him? Why wasn't he a greater help to him? So there's something fishy about Remy Newell, and we're going to get down to the bottom of it in season 2.
Now I want to talk to you guys very quickly about another character that's on the show. Her name is Mary Carmen Velez, but she plays a character by the name of Rena Lopez, who is the teacher of little young Blue Borderline.
But she has eyes for Ralph Angel. Trinity, very quickly, tell us what you think about Rena.
Well, she didn't know that that there was a baby mama. She just thought that the baby mama was I didn't know he had a babysitter.
Now wait a minute. What do you mean she didn't know he was a baby mama? This little boy is not Jesus Christ. It was no immaculate conception. He has a daddy, so he has a mama. What do you mean she didn't know?
But this is to see how organically it came. She said, "No, I didn't know he had a babysitter." She said, "No, I'm not the babysitter. I'm his mom." Step back, and remember now, anybody's ever seen his Ralph Angel, that's it.
Right.
So if she had anything going on in her head, that's probably dead now. That being said, she said, if there's anything, just call me and, I'll come. And she said, "Oh, okay." So she was taken aback by that. And if you had a sharp eye, you saw that. She was taken aback by it. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay, great.
I didn't need a sharp eye to see that she was taken aback by it. I also don't need a sharp eye to know that this Latino woman wants that black guy. And I'm going to tell you what.
That's why I said whatever was in her head is now dead.
I don't think it's dead, sweetie. She's Latin, and she's fiery, and she's hot, and she's calculated, and she's a woman.
I tell you what, I wouldn't discount Darla, though, too. Just because she's coming back around don't mean she doesn't have any fire in her either, especially if her and Ralph Angel is rekindling something or letting nature take its course.
I believe it. I don't put anything past you women. You know how y'all are scheming things. Okay, guy number 2.
I'm gonna put it very cut and dry. Okay. She's gonna be a problem in season 2. She's gonna be a problem in season 2. She's gonna be the silent third wheel because Ralph Angel's not gonna be able to make up his mind between the two. Period. That's it.
Yes, I believe that. This thing is not going away. She gave that mother.
God, they had tea and crackers already. They have not. He is just a teacher. Wait a minute. Yes, but they had lunch already. They have not.
Well, here's the thing, Trinity. We are men, and we know that Ralph Angel is not going to let that piece of Latin kumquat sit on the side and not touch it.
He ain't going to let it go.
He going to get that plantain. Listen, I want to talk, before we close out, let's talk very quickly, upon closing, about the finale, the scene before the very final scene of the finale. explosive. The best season finale I've seen this year.
Yes.
Was the Queen Sugar finale. So look, guy number 2, weigh in right now on Nova's performance on the finale.
This is one of the most explosive moments that I've seen on television outside of a movie. Because when I tell you, Nova and her boyfriend Calvin are out at a bar, and they're having a romantic evening together. Now, they're standing at the bar only to be met by one of Calvin's friends, who's a former police officer, who decides that he's going to take his liberties and grab Nova, to which she spins around and turns and slaps the Jesus out of this guy. And he ends up spitting on her, which is the ultimate no-no. But when I tell you it's the most explosive scene I've ever seen on television ever, when I say ever, I mean ever. So I mean, there's just really no other word. You've got to see it for yourself. It's something.
Trinity.
It's worth. You know, thinking about it, I might just go back and look at it again myself just for that. It was just like throw in the script, let's wing it right now. They blended so well. It was that. I don't know if you can have a perfect explosion, but that one was.
That one was.
That one was. I was like, what? So
again, I'm on the floor yelling at the TV. Like, what? Are you kidding me?
Exactly. I know you guys heard me all the way in New York screaming and yelling at the top of my voice too. You guys who are tuned in, we often talk about, you know, here on the after show, we often talk about the beauty, the cinematography, the lighting, the wardrobe, the makeup. Everything is so flawless with this production. It is absolutely perfect. And we had become quite befuddled upon the last episode, because we were able to notice that the lighting seemed a little off and people weren't as glamorous and the makeup wasn't as flawless, and we didn't understand why, but we were going to trust the process because it was such a great season. We were going to trust the process, and I'm telling you, the process carried us straight through to this magnificent finale where Nova was handled inappropriately. And I'm telling you, when guy number 2 said that she spun around and slapped this guy, I'm telling you, it wasn't just a slap. It was a slap for the God. Not the God. It was a slap for every ancient warrior, for every tribe, every forgotten tribe, for black and brown people everywhere, for women everywhere, for, you know, people who feel defenseless everywhere. I mean, this woman slapped the bejesus out of this guy, and it was absolutely called for. But I'm going to tell you, more than that, when this man spit on her, oh my God. Here's what I want to say about this real quick, guys. What was so amazing about Ava's decision to write this way was that often on finales, we see, and writers go to, the gun scene. Somebody's getting shot. There's a shootout or something like that. And those always work, but they're easy. This was magnificent.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
This was magnificent. So kudos to Nova, kudos to Calvin, kudos to Ava, kudos to OWN, and kudos to everyone that watches this show and continues to make it the OWN sensation that it is. I'm looking so forward to season 2. I know you guys are as well, guy number 2, and the lovely Trinity.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, look. So, look, guy number 3 wasn't able to join us. I thought he would jump in at some point. He wasn't able to join us. I hear he's out buying some catfish. Yes. Yeah. And if you guys have been... And if you guys have tuned into previous episodes of the After Show, I'm always commenting about snacking and so forth when we watch television shows. In one episode, I talked about having a fish sandwich in hand, and I had my tea in the other hand, and I was, you know, enjoying a show. He called, guy number 3 felt the need to say it was ghetto. And I found out later on that I actually live in an upper class, very upper class neighborhood, and he actually lives in the ghetto. Mm-hmm. So he's out having catfish, and he'll be back with us on the next episode of the After Show. I thank you guys for tuning in. We thank you for tuning in. We're getting ready. We're gearing up because we're going to be reviewing that new edition movie for you, that biopic.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Everything new edition. Yep.
Yes, we're going to go in on that. We're going to go super duper in on that. And I'll be coming back at you guys, giving you guys some more news as well. And I want you to tune into the CC COWAN Show, which returns to BEG Radio January 18th from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that's Wednesdays, every Wednesday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, a new show coming to BEG Radio, hosted by yours truly as well. Yes, I just do it all. I'm a talker. But I DJ as well. So there's a new show coming as well. It's called Midnight at Noon on BEG Radio as well. And that's going to be my little mix. Yeah, the hottest songs that you normally would listen to at night, late night, midnight. You don't have to wait anymore, baby. You can listen to it at noon. So look for that too. Okay. And we'll be back. We'll be back with more after show with guy number 2, guy number 3, and the always lovely, always opinionated Trinity.
Yay, Trinity!